Warning. The following content is intended for immature audiences only. The opinions of these two fine gentlemen should not be taken seriously at all.
The JTS 51 Podcast. Introducing your hosts, JT and Sai.
Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the JTS 51 podcast. Introducing myself, my name is JT and my co-host is Simon. Simon, how you doing?
Yeah, not so bad. You nearly forgot me then, didn't you?
I was trying to bring you in. I didn't know what to say. At one point I was like, oh God, mine went blank. But you know what? That's the best way to an intro anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, guys, so thank you for listening to our previous episodes. Today is episode 3 and I think we're going to continue talking about reality TV shows. Why are they so shit? Oh, bloody hell, that was bad. Just dropped my mouse. Why are they so shit, and or why are they so good? And let's try and figure out, what they're all about. So, sorry, we've on this podcast, right? In the last couple of episodes, we spoke about The Apprentice. We've spoken about Love Island, and a big one that's come back this week was Big Brother. And there's trust me, I know, mate. And there's a few that I kind of watch because my missus watches them, and I get kind of roped into watching them as well. It's impossible when I walk in and she's watching something.
Are you sure it's that way round?
No, yeah,
100%. 100%. I can't wait to see this. And your missus is just like,
no more
reality TV.
Yeah.
I want to see some like action. I want to see people being murdered. And you're like, no, I've got to see who falls in love this week.
We need to watch this episode of The Bachelor.
Yeah, she wants to watch Extraction 5 and you're like, no.
That's right, mate. Nah, it's a girly thing, isn't it? To be honest with you, I think she really likes these shows. Like, I wasn't into Love Island until I think my sister and my cousin, who are quite young compared to me, like they're about a 7-year difference. They were into that Love Island kind of generation, so I only knew about the show because of them, and there were some people at work, like I said in the last pod, where a few people were speaking about it, and then it just blew up overnight. I tried to get in with the most popular thing, which was Love Island, and I couldn't get into it the first year, but the second year started becoming like a yearly thing for me to watch. But yeah, my missus watches all these shows, and it's impossible, mate. It's impossible for me to not kind of notice them. It's like I'll walk in the room, she's already got it on. I'm trying my best not to watch it because I'll be on my phone or I'll be on my laptop watching YouTube, all my YouTube stuff. And then from the corner of my eye, I'll see something stupid being said on TV, or I'll see something that piques my interest, and I'll ask her about it. Next thing you know, I'm on the sofa with her, feet up, popcorn in hand, and we're watching it together, and I'll be asking like stupid questions. It's just what it is, mate. Honestly, I don't know what it is. It's car crash TV. You just can't look away. Like, when you drive past an accident.
Yeah, but it right. So I must admit, I don't watch many of these things, but I do remember watching I think it was the first serise with Nasty Nick and
Big
all
Brother.
of that.
Yeah,
that was interesting. Like I said,
do you know what?
The first shows of these things, that was a good one.
Spot on.
Because there's a little bit behind the back skullduggery. Now it seems a little bit too crafted. As in the people that are thrown in there, they know who they want. They're not really a mix. In fact, I didn't even know. Well, actually, I take that back. I wasn't aware that Big Brother was starting until I saw it was a 2-minute snippet of everybody. Was it announcing their pronouns or something like that?
Oh, was it?
That the one?
No, it must be. Yeah,
I'm not sure which version it was. I don't know if there are different versions. Mate. Honestly, I think they're all sitting there going, "I'm a she, they, and a them, he." I don't know whatever it was. And I was like, "Oh, geez, here we go."
Yeah, that's it. Do you know what it is? It's weird because I remember watching Big Brother back in the day, and I thought it was fantastic, right? Because it literally was brand new. It was a social experiment. That's what they used to say, right? And like you said, like there were so many like characters in there. It was actually entertaining. So you kind of look forward to it every year. It was one of a kind show. Like they even had. Do you remember the live streams on E4? You can watch them 24/7. And then they showed like the best bits of the night every night at 9 p.m. I think it was on Channel 4. But E4 used to have dedicated 24/7 streams where you can actually watch what's going on. And if something controversial was being said, they would just filter the sound with some birds chirping outside. And then...
but what's the point?
This is it.
What's the point?
This is it.
It should be, right, you want them to be swearing and say, right, if this is a sign-up service, I get that they I get that they want to encourage people to watch this show. They should have had, yes, the chirping bird version,
Yep.
and then they should have had the "Are you 18" version. Yeah,
Well,
where
that's
it's just
the
completely
thing. That is it.
unfiltered. You sign up,
Yep.
you say yes, I'm 18,
Yep.
and then you just hear them cursing at each other.
This is it. So basically, I think back then, obviously, they could only like show it post Watershed, so post 9 p.m. And if there was any swearing or if there's any kind of rude shit going on, because E4 was a freeview channel, there was no way to filter out who's an adult and who's not. Obviously, nowadays you got streams which you can verify with ages and stuff. But back then, you could literally just flip over to E4 or E4+1, and you can just watch all the crap. And so you're sitting there in your room watching other people live lives. The whole premise of it sounds a bit stupid, but yeah.
See, I thought,
Yeah.
no, I thought Gogglebox was mental. Just watching other people watch other people watch
Watching
TV.
TV, right?
This is like
But-
watching people pick their toenails.
Do you know what it is? Like,
mate.
mate, I don't know. It's so funny. It's like when you say it out loud, it sounds stupid, doesn't it? Like Gogglebox is, you're essentially watching the TV, watching other people watch TV while they commentate on it. Crazy when you say it out loud, but it is quite entertaining, to be fair. Like they've got some characters in there, and I guess it's like a glorified version on YouTube when you got reaction videos when people are like playing something and then they'll give their reaction. Could be a movie trailer, could be a song, could be top 10 clips of something stupid. So it's probably like a glorified version of that.
Yeah, I do you know what? I only watch little snippets of Gogglebox. As I say, I think my missus has a reign on the TV because I have other things I need to be doing.
As it-
but I do
as it
remember
is.
Noel Gallagher. The funniest thing I remember about Gogglebox was Noel Gallagher recounting his story of when he did it. And I think he was on there with Naomi Campbell and I can't remember the other lady's name. And Kate Moss. Yeah,
Oh,
and he was
bloody
just
hell.
talking about they all turned up late.
Yeah.
They're all smashed up. He was there eating his pickled onion monster munch. It's just like... That was
Brilliant.
my favourite thing. I think they need to get more people like that
Yeah.
to do it, and then just don't worry about that. Just get them to tell the stories afterwards.
Yeah, there you go.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean. That's quite a mix there. Like you got two supermodels and you got one of the most
Yeah, no,
legendary singers ever.
he does mix with the best,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely,
No?
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Oh, mate, but talking about Big Brother though, was it something you watched quite regularly, like every year? I'm pretty sure for a good, I watched it for a good 5 or 6 years, like consecutively. Did you ever catch it like that, or did you just watch it on the off chance?
Oh, you see, I never got into Big Brother, as I say. I never got into it. I like the what show did I watch? The Biggest Loser. I've watched the first few. It was American
Right,
one.
right. Yep.
You know, when you get these folks that are like 30 stone plus
Yeah,
rock up,
yeah.
you're just like, oh my
Here we
goodness,
go, here we go.
walls being cut off the side of their house to wheel them up to the studio. It's just like, how did you get into this state?
Yeah,
right?
I know. This at what point did you think, well, this is enough? Do you know what I mean? There would have been...
Well, I watched this show, right, and like, I have to be clear.
Yeah.
A person's choice, their life, they can do what they want, right? But I am allowed to have an opinion on it, right?
Absolutely.
And it wasn't related to this Biggest Loser, although I did enjoy that show. And the best part of that show is when they got to the end and then they had to drag the weight that they'd lost up and down this field like so many times.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because they'd all lost weight and they'd all lost like, whatever it is,
Yeah.
15 stone or something
Bloody
mental.
hell, yeah.
And they were dragging it up and down. They were all like just like completely burnt out at the end of it. I forgot where I was going. Oh no, I watched the show prior to that, and it was about sort of feeders.
Right.
So the feeders, the people that go out and buy the food,
Yep.
and then they make their partners just absolutely humongous just because they enjoy it. And you're like, obviously there must be some sort of abuse there. But anyway,
Absolutely.
watching this lady, there was one lady. Actually, no, I think there was a couple, right? And the first one shuffled though, so double bed. So, and she was sort of sitting up, resting on the sort of back headrest, and she shuffled herself to the front of the bed, and she had to have a 15-minute timeout. Right? And I was just
Seriously?
like, that's when you know you're done, right?
Oh.
And there was this other lady on there, right? I'm going to get a bit of crap about this because we're poking fun at people that are massive, right? But there was this other lady on there, and so she was laying on her side. And she turned round to the other way, and her belly was still behind her.
Oh.
And I it's this can't be right. She had to reach around and pull her stomach around to the same way that she was. And then the same lady, she shuffles herself off the bed into like what are they? The mobility scooter thing. Yeah, and she had to lift her stomach off. So she was in things. She had to lift her stomach off the bed onto her knees so that she could get out the house. And I'm just like, oh my days.
Yeah. See, this is one of those moments where...
It seems to be we're in a world where that's celebrated now, and I don't know. We've lost our way a little bit.
No. Do you know what? It's one of those. This is one of those times when it's inappropriate to laugh, but you can't help it. Oh, Simon, how are you going to tell me her face is like facing east and her belly's facing west? That's
I know.
There's the thing, right? I feel sorry for these people. Obviously, like they might have conditions. But some of them, they're not conditions. Some of them are general laziness or like just being really fat. It's just it's a weird one. At what point do you kind of like think enough is enough? Like, if you're in that state, surely there was a point where you could have prevented it. But I don't know. It's a weird one. But then again, we just don't know what's going on in these people's lives.
Well, it's not only that, we celebrate it now, and that's the thing.
Do you know what? I think that's true.
This is the. Do you know what I think is a little bit sad? Is that you got people with genuine anorexia, so the reverse of it, okay, and so you know that there's a proper problem there because one, food is amazing, and you've got the people at the other end of the spectrum that can face a completely different way to their stomach.
It's like 2 extremes, right? 2 extremes,
right?
Yeah.
But now we're in a place where we are celebrating massive people, and fine, you are who you are, and it is what it is, and it's not for us to judge. Sure. That is for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
However, there is a point where you have to say, I'm not sure I agree with that. Like there was this other one, right? I remember going to a wedding, right? And one of the ladies there was a big woman, right? And so she kind of... this was the party at the end of the night.
Oh, okay.
So once the wedding's done, the after party thing, whatever. Anyway, so she kind of waddled her way down the aisle and sat in a chair, and she had a kid with her, right? She did not leave that. She did not. All right, she blubbered down the aisle. I don't know. Help me out here, mate.
Oh yeah, you got it. You got this. She waddled down.
Rolled. What do you want from me?
Oh, okay, sorry. Carry on. She walked down the aisle. Oh, shit.
She sat in this chair, right? And this is where I was just like, this ain't right. Because she sat there all night, and every time she wanted food or drink, she sent her kid up to go and get it.
Oh, no.
It's just like, come on.
The kids are getting the steps in. They get the steps in, I'm telling you that.
Exactly.
Like, geez.
Kids are rock high and 8-pack,
Oh God!
They have to
got the legs of a wrestler.
Do
you know what I mean? All that popping out.
Exactly.
Oh.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe because in theory,
motivation.
In theory, you should always want better for your kids. So it doesn't matter how far you are in life, right? Yeah. You should always want your kids to get further than you,
of course,
right?
Yeah.
That's how I see it anyway, right? Perhaps she just had that mentality.
Yeah.
She's like, right, I'm a big person. My kid is going to be.
Yep.
He's going to be a marathon
He's going to be
runner.
a success. Absolutely, yeah. This kid's going to go far. I'm going to make him get me so much food that by the end of the night...
Yeah, it's going to go far. Yeah. 20,000 steps.
20,000 steps minimum a day.
To the cake dispenser and back.
Oh, mate. Oh, yeah, I know. You know what it is? This is... I've got to be careful. Well, we've got to be careful what we say because we don't want to be cancelled by episode 4. But
well, no, let's be honest, right? You and me, we're carrying a little bit of timber, so we're
100%. I'm in no position to talk. Yeah. No, you're all right. Exactly. I'm in no position to talk. To be fair,
hey? Right?
No, you're right. I think you're right. So basically, for me, body, what do they call it? Body positivity that's come out the last 5-10 years. Absolutely no problem with it. Like, you are who you are. Be proud of who you are. Not a problem. But then when you're celebrating someone who's like super obese and think there's nothing wrong with it, even your friends and family around you, surely they care enough about you to kind of say something or do something. What I don't want to see is people encouraging them to carry on living that unhealthy lifestyle, because ultimately that's just going to lead to an early grave. And that's one thing that I don't like to see. To be fair, I don't like to see that. Look, like I said, if you're happy, no problem. But I don't want to see people kind of motivating people the wrong way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, it used to be you'd look at, like, I remember growing up, and you'd there was you had your action heroes, like your Arnold Schwarzeneggers and people like that, which, okay, fine, they were roided up, but
100%,
still, you know, and wrestlers and stuff, and, you know, they had their issues, but they were promoting fitness. Yeah. And then you had shows that were promoting fitness, like Gladiators and a few other bits and pieces on it. And now it's just like, the bigger you are, the better. And if anything, I agree with what you're saying, but I do think these people should have a little bit of thought for the casket bearers at the end.
Jesus, man. Oh, my God.
You know,
what I mean?
Imagine being a casket bearer and you've got 30 stone.
Guys.
You just, you know, pick this thing up, rip the handles off the side.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We'll put it on a trolley and just roll it in.
The casket makers as well, like have a thought for them. The reinforced wood they got to use.
just go down Wicks and get a 6x.
That's it.
6x8.
Just get one of those big trolleys. You know, the ones they're pushing out. Just get one of them, mate. You know what I mean? I don't know, mate. It's just, it's a weird subject, that is. To be fair, I just think I'm a little bit speechless. I really don't know what to say. I've seen some of those shows, and obviously they go right to the extreme end, right? Like, some of those cases are so mad. Like, you would think, bloody hell, like, surely by being on this shows, you're opening up a whole can of worms. Like, you're opening the door for people to be nasty, people to, like, you know, find out who you are, and it kind of exposes you a little bit. But I don't know if that's for short-term gain, just so that they can get a little bit famous and get some money out of it, or if it's for...
Yeah, maybe. Well, it doesn't matter if it is it? You know, we just let people do what they want.
What they are, absolutely.
You know, I'm an advocate for free speech.
Yeah,
you know,
of course,
people
mate,
want to poke a little bit of fun. It is what it is. You know,
I'm good with all types of banter, mate. Not a problem. You know what I mean? It's all
I'll tell you a slightly different story though. As I just mentioned, I'm a little bit chunky and I need to lose some weight. Right. So have you heard of Huel?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
you know, the shake. Right,
I see you drinking it every lunchtime.
I'm trying. Okay, I should do more exercise, but at the very least, I'm going to try and eat less food.
Sure,
right?
fair enough.
So this is my cunning plan. All right. So, for anyone that doesn't know, it's like a powder. Kind of mix it up with some water, drink it. Job done. Right. It's sort of calorie counted specific, so you can work out exactly what you're doing. Right. However, right, they tell you all the health benefits. What they don't tell you is for the first month, and any man alive, your farts are evil, right? They are evil, honestly. Right?
They are clear the room evil, right? They are really bad.
Right, clear the house evil. It's so rotten. Right? I'm glad I started this thing, right? Because we work from home. Yeah. We're lucky enough to do that.
That's right. Yeah.
But if you're going to take this up, do not do it with your first week. Book 2 weeks off.
Yeah. Let your body get adjusted to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Bloody
right,
hell,
because man, like, I walked in. Right, you get used to it. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You, the person, get used to it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And then my missus comes in from work. She nearly passes out.
It's a waft. The waft just hits her. Exactly. She enters the room. Oh no, mate!
She just walks in and just like chops the air in half and parts
can
the
you
air.
Imagine, like, you know, that's a great warning. Where you, like, you just do it when you're at home, because if you're in the office and you think you can go away for a sneaky fart in the kitchen or something, and someone walks in, you're a dead man. Especially if no one's there with you. If you're by yourself, you can't even blame it on anyone. You're done for.
No. But even in the toilet, so right, you can feel your parts come in, you go to the toilet, right? Yeah. You just sit in there, you do your business, you come in. Guaranteed, someone walks in that cubicle after you.
Oh.
Just you hear the. You have to quickly run out and just hope they don't remember your face.
That's the way life works, mate. You're never gonna have. You go to the toilet and you blow it up, mate. Yeah, and it's gonna be empty for the next 10 minutes. It's the law of life. Someone's going to walk in just after you did it. And then you got a choice. Then you got a choice, mate. What do? There's two options. You either wait it out, wait for them to leave so they can never see the identity of the farter, or while they're in, you contemplate making a quick exit. So you run out, wash your hands, and get the hell out of there. You know, you do anything to avoid your identity being seen after you just let one off in there, mate. Honestly.
No, I think you just look them dead in the eye and say, "I'll give that 5."
Oh, fair enough.
Just carry on.
Own it. Exactly. Yeah, that's the third option right there. Oh,
yeah.
And if you're accidentally in the ladies' room, you're done for, mate. You're absolutely done for. Oh,
well, that's the thing, right? I imagine, right? So you and I know blokes' toilets. We know what blokes are like. We discussed
absolutely.
it.
We discussed it. Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
not to say this should be different for ladies, but imagine ladies on the Huel.
Oh,
You
bloody
go
hell.
into their cubicle.
There's got to be.
Jeez, Doris has killed a rat in here. What's going on?
There's got to be. Like you said the other day, it has to be. There has to be that ladies do. I've seen ladies on the protein shakes as well, so there must be, mate. I don't know. I don't know what it is, man. Bloody, I don't know what must happen there. It smells awful. I've had a few protein shakes in my time, and you're right, mate. Honestly, it just messes your body up big time. Like it's like it doesn't recognise what the hell's going on, so it's just trying to blow everything out of you.
No,
Deadly toxins.
it must be good for you, but
Yeah. But your body's like, what is this? And just straight out, mate. You know what I mean? It's really bad.
I tell you, that is the sign of a strong marriage, right?
Yeah.
All you lot out there, if you're not sure your partners are committed,
There's one way to
you
find
get on-
out.
what exactly. Once you're like 2 or 3 months into the relationship, get on the Huel. If they survive that first month, you know you've got to keep her.
Exactly that. And if you'd like to share your story about your Huel farting partner exposing story, please email into the
Oh
pod.
no, not another one.
Nah, that's. Oh man, I'll tell you what, mate. Go back to bloody reality TV shows. I'm watching one right now with the missus, right? And it's Oh, actually, sorry. Let me tell you a funny story about reality TV shows. Actually, a few years ago, I'm sitting there with my family, right? And so it's me, my mum, my dad, my sister, and it's late at night. I think it's like 10, probably about 10-ish, maybe, about 10 o'clock. We've had dinner. We're just sitting down. We're just talking. I sit down and the channel changes, right? Because I think it was like the news channel was on. My dad was watching the news. The remote was obviously tucked in between the cushions somewhere. So I sit down. It goes on channel 4, I think. Yeah, channel 4. Next thing you know, I'm watching, and my whole family is watching a guy bollock naked.
Oh no!
Yeah, with his dick out, right?
I think I know what
his
you're
balls
gonna
out,
say.
mate, honestly. And there's a lady, like, with a microphone talking to someone about this guy, and they zoom right into his cock, and he's not hard, like, no homo, but he's not hard, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm looking for my remote, and this is the worst thing, right? I don't know if anyone's had this situation before. I don't know where the remote is. I've sat on the remote, but I didn't know that, right? I thought someone's accidentally changed the channel. So all my family, I've seen this on TV. My whole family's looking at this on TV. They're looking at this man's unerect cock, right? And
And you're sitting on a remote.
yeah, and I'm sitting on the remote.
You want to tell us something?
I'm telling. So basically, I'm looking at my dad. My dad's awkwardly looking at my mum. My mum's looking down on the floor. She's like moving the cushions. My sister's trying to shield her eyes. I'm thinking, fucking hell, where's that remote? Where's that bloody remote? Like, everyone look away. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it was Naked Attraction, basically. The show was Naked
I
Attraction.
was going to say, it's either Naked Attraction or catchprise has changed since the last time I
or
watched
Family
it.
Fortunes. I don't know. The survey
Oh,
says
yeah?
cock.
Oh, no.
No, you know what it is? I think it was like, I never heard of Naked Attraction. It must have been like, I don't know, within the first season, so I've never really heard of it. But bloody hell, man, it's such a flipping embarrassing moment. But that moment always makes me laugh, because when we look back at it, we never spoke about that moment again, but that was one of the funniest moments. Like, I started laughing. Even though I was panicking, I was laughing because I was just looking at the reaction of my family, and they're all like, oh my God. Like, my family's the type, we're like typical Indian family, right? So back in the day, right, you'd get these Bollywood films, and there was nothing like Hollywood films, right? And if there was like a slight indication that the couple's going to kiss, everyone starts looking around the room like really awkwardly, looking towards the floor, looking towards the ceiling, checking their watch, checking their phone. And usually they wouldn't kiss. It would just be like a near kind of, just like a near kiss, and then they'll turn their head away. Honestly, mate, like, we're so, when we grew up, like, watching Bollywood films was so, like, I don't know, what should I say? Not crude, but they were very prude, if you know what I mean. They would just avoid that whole thing. But then this was like an extension of that moment, because obviously we're actually seeing, like, not even like a near kiss. We're seeing a guy bollock naked, right? And he wasn't very well endowed, so, which was a bit more embarrassing. And the pure panic in their faces, mate, that was the funniest thing. And I eventually found that I was bloody sitting on the remote. I'm not sure why I was under the cushion in the first place, but yeah, I flipping changed that channel. We never spoke about that again.
The programme that shall not be mentioned ever again.
That's it. Oh, it was so funny, mate. Honestly, I couldn't believe what just happened, but that was flipping hilarious, man. Have you ever,
Do you know, that's when, you know, like, I don't know. So I'm the same. When it comes to movies, I'm the same. Like, you can watch as much blood and gore and guts and violence as you want, right? It doesn't bother me. As soon as you get to those, like, I like the films with the suggested stuff. So they have a little kiss, it cuts, job done. I'm not in for this whole, like, sex scenes and stuff like that. Yeah. So when TV's gone too far is this show, right?
100%.
Because as you say, right, human bodies, like, we're attracted to women, so male bodies just not on us, right?
Oh.
So when you turn it on and they got these old blokes with their like balls around their knees,
it was
like,
that bad.
This
this wasn't like a young guy. This was like an older couple. I'm talking like in their 50s, and she was obviously. Sorry for our listeners that don't know what it is. Right, the show. I'll just quickly sum it up for you. It's essentially like a matchmaking game show where. You walk in there, it could be a man or a woman, right? Or whoever they're looking for. So a man could be looking for a woman. They'll have like 5 women right in there, and they'll slowly start revealing their bodies, but they won't reveal their face. So they'll be looking at the private parts of the ladies before they look at their face is revealed, and that man or that woman will then choose that individual to be their kind of I'm not sure what happens after. I think it's like to be their choice to go out or something like that. But that's why it's called naked attraction, because you're not attracted to their face, you're attracted to their body first and foremost.
It's
it's terrible.
I mean, the thing is, we're gonna get there one day. We'll be old with saggy balls, and I don't want to look at my own balls.
No, so I don't know why the hell someone. Yeah, why would someone else want to do that? Oh my word! And these people are showing it to what? Like, I don't know, 10 million people at prime time.
Just imagine, right? Either you've got supreme confidence,
absolutely,
or I don't know. Look, right. I would love to speak to one of these people and find out what the colleagues have said the next day at work.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you go on that show.
That's
right? It airs.
Yeah.
Right. Jay, you got something you want to tell us? I saw you on TV last night. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw you from the feet first.
Bloody hell. Yeah, they got me. So I was just going for a checkup. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. I can't do it. I can't. That's what I'm saying. I can't do it.
It's terrible. I was just going in for a checkup, for God's sake. Oh my God, yeah. All right, mate. So I'll tell you what I'm watching right now. Right, I'm watching something called Married at First Sight, and for anyone that doesn't know, I'll just break it down for you quickly. So Married at First Sight is a show on Channel 4, and I think on E4. I think it's on one of the two of those. Basically, what they do, Si, is they have a group of experts, right? They are like essentially data driven. They are like 3 individuals. They are matchmakers, right? So what they do is they'll get hundreds and thousands of contestants to apply for the show. These guys then, put them in a database, and they will pick out, I don't know, like 20 individuals, men and women. And what they'll do is they'll review each person. That shortlisted 20 people, they will talk to them, interview them, and get to know them on a one-to-one kind of level, like just a brief chat. What are your likes, what are your dislikes, and these potential candidates then go through, right? So what they're told is, on this day, dress up in your wedding clothes. You're gonna get married. You're gonna get married to a stranger. Essentially, they don't know anything about the partner. So the experts lock in the candidates. And then they do these promos where the camera crew is basically following around that person for a day, getting to know them, asking them like, what would you like to look for in a partner, and what kind of person are you, that kind of stuff, like a VT, just like little clips and stuff like that. So yeah, they get dressed and they turn up on the day. One thing that I really don't understand, right, is that before they go for the wedding, they have to the candidates need to reveal that to their loved ones that they're going on this show. Now, the problem I have with reality TV is half of it is clearly scripted, right? It's ridiculous. So there was one where a guy has gone into the house, and they're filming all this, right? Gone into the house, and the mum's in the dining room. He's walked in, and he goes, "Oh, Mum, I've got something to tell you." She's like, "Yes, honey, what is it?" And he's
I've been on Naked Attraction.
And my balls, everyone saw my balls now. They basically like, "Oh, Mum, I'm going to get married to a stranger." And the parents' reaction is always like, "You fucking what? What are you talking about?" And then And then they do the whole like act surprised thing. And he's like, "Oh, would you be happy for me?" And they're like, "Okay, who you marry?" And they're like, "I don't know." And they're like, and obviously every sane parent, partner, like sibling is going to say, "What the hell do you mean? Like you don't know who you're getting married to?" So it's just that bit I find really ridiculous because it's scripted. Obviously, that if you think about it logically, right, the first thing that your mum or your dad's going to say is, "Why the fuck is the camera crew in my house? Who are these people?" And what are you going to reply to that, right? What are you going to reply to that? You're going to say, don't worry, mum and dad. It's a camera crew. They're going to be filming inside the house, and I'm going to tell you something, and act surprised or whatever. Like that's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? First of all, they'll be like, "Who the hell are these people in my house?" First of all, anyway, they act all surprised, and then they get dressed. Right? They film the whole thing. They put you in a nice car. They're driving you to the. Normally like a little massive manor house and stuff like that where they get married.
Yeah.
The first time they actually see the person they're marrying is at the altar. So as the groom gets there first, lady walks through, and when they're actually at the altar, the groom turns around, and that's when they see each other. They ask each other's names, and then they get married essentially. Now it's not real marriage.
Anybody ever at that point? Has anybody ever turned around and just gone, "No"? I don't
Do you
like
know
that.
what? I don't. Do you know what? I don't think they have. I'm not sure if they're allowed to at that point.
Oh, come on, the odds must be there that one of them must have turned around and said, "No,
absolutely,
no, you're right.
mate, absolutely."
We're down to 9 contestants now.
Yeah, I'm at the wrong place. Yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, they'll act surprised, right, and they'll go through with it. And again, it's not a real marriage because they're not really getting married, but it's like a commitment kind of ceremony where they're saying, "Okay, you guys are married," and blah blah blah. You signed a contract, and yeah, so they're married, and then they have a little quick one-to-one kind of interview with the camera, with the interview, and they'll say, "So what do you think?" And half the time they're like, "Yeah, she's lovely," or "He's lovely," or half the time they'll be like, "He's not really what I asked for," or like she will be like, or he will be like, that's not my type. That's at all, like, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't go for this person at all. I think personally, right, and we spoke about this last week on Love Island. The producers don't want fairy tale stories to end. Like, do you know what I mean? They want the drama. They don't want peace. They want problems, right? So they will chuck in a few wild cards in there. Everyone knows that these two people would never get along. I'm talking like one might be like a Geordie bird from Newcastle who's loud and brash and doesn't give a fuck what the world thinks. And then the guy she's marrying is like a really scared reserve chap who literally doesn't speak out. That's a recipe for disaster.
So these experts aren't experts, right? That's what they say.
And that's what I'm saying. And they chuck in these wild cards because they want drama. And but yeah, no, honestly, it's a good show. I ain't gonna lie to you, it is a good show, and I've really got into it. But it's just like the fact that I'm kind of like explaining to you the steps of this show, it sounds absolutely flipping mental. So what happens is after they get married, they have a little reception, right? Immediate family, 20 people or so. Normally, groom side family, bride's family, and then you got some like their closest friends and siblings and stuff like that. So they're all asking each other questions about each other, right? So that goes on. The next morning they're off on honeymoon. They'll ship them off to lovely places like Antigua, Barbados, Maldives, like amazing honeymoons. And some of the volatile couples, they'll send them off to Liverpool or somewhere.
Oh, that's perfect. That is the ones that are going to kick off. Send them to Brixton.
Absolutely,
Right.
There's drama, like guaranteed. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So, to be fair, most of them they'll send them off to really nice locations. They might send a couple like here, but it'll be like really scenic places like country houses and all that kind of stuff. But yes, so yeah, they have their honeymoon, and obviously it's like sink or swim time for these couples. So they're just getting to know each other. They're doing kind of like activities together, getting to know each other, drinking, eating, whatever you like. Then when they come back, they have to live together. They get put into a flat, nice new flats, and they've got to live together for like 4 to 6 weeks. And essentially, what happens then is every week, right? They have a dinner party with all the other contestants.
Right.
So it's a massive dinner party. That's where the drama starts because loads of couples are talking shit about each other because everyone's in a different stage in their relationship. Some couples get on like a house on fire. they're already getting intimate. They're falling in love. Whereas some couples are barely saying a word to each other because something happened on the honeymoon. Like they flipping hate each other, or that like maybe the girls are hating on each other, maybe the boys are hating on each other, and there has been lesbian and gay couples on there as well. So it's not just like heterosexual. There's been a bit of both. So it's kind of like open to everyone. And yeah, so after the dinner party, the next day is a commitment ceremony. So a commitment ceremony gives you a chance to either get out of the relationship and go home, or carry on for the next week. So they do that every single week. And yeah, mate, it is absolutely crazy. The popularity of the show has gone so big that they do it in America and they do it in Australia now as well. So it is crazy. What, mate? What? One thing I will say, right, a little side note is they call it Married at First Sight, aka an Indian arranged marriage. It's exactly the same thing.
Oh, yes.
It's exactly the same thing, mate.
Right, I've got questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
Right, obviously this is set up for them to have arguments and whatnot, right?
Some of them are, mate. Honestly, I've got to be honest. I think some of them are poor guys and girls.
I get the title, the Married at First Sight, but they've missed the best bit, the organising the wedding. What they need to do, right?
Yeah.
They need to stick them in that hotel for a week at the start, and then give them 4 weeks to plan their wedding. But there's going to be so many arguments. By the end of that 4 weeks, the bloke's going to be like, "Fuck off! I don't care what colour the flowers are." She's going to book him in for a backsacking crack just to wind him up. You know,
I want my stag do.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to get wrecked and turn up 3 weeks late for his own wedding.
That's it.
She's going to be off with the other couple. I mean? He missed that whole setup before the show's even started.
That's another show entirely, but I think we should pitch that to someone. Or maybe do it ourselves. Yeah, you know what it is as well. I've just want to say. So what happens is the boys and the girls actually meet each other. So the set of boys will meet each other before they get married. One day before, they have a little like kind of few drinks, and then all the girls kind of meet each other just before they get married as well, just to have a few drinks, so they know who's in the process, kind of thing. But yeah, crazy. It is crazy, and yeah, I can tell like some of the couples were matched up for no reason whatsoever, mate. It was literally. The producer's like, we've got 2 grenades here. We're going to pull the pin and we're going to chuck it in there. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's unbelievable, mate. But there has been, there was once, it was quite a big one actually. There was, I think it was like 2 years ago in Australia. There were 2 couples, right? And one drunken night, one of the girl on, say, couple A kissed a boy in couple B. So while their partners were sleeping upstairs, and then they continued to play the game and were saying they were happy with their partners, but they started meeting with each other during the sleeping times, when their partners would be asleep. It was proper sneaky. The affair was found out, and then basically they got shitted on in the commitment ceremony because every single couple literally like badmouthed them big time. They asked them to leave. They left, but the sad thing is when you do leave, your couple, the couple you're in, you both go home. It's not a case of your partner goes home if you want to leave. You both go home. It's the end of the road for you. Those 2 individuals that hooked up with each other came back the next day and asked the show if we could go on as a couple rather than being in the original couples, right? And that caused a massive storm, mate. Honestly, they were getting hate from all of the other couples, even the experts who are there for, giving you advice, giving you marriage advice, how to get closer. Like the commitment ceremony that they have on a weekly basis is a chance for you to kind of say if you're happy or you're unhappy in the relationship, how you can work on it, and if you want to stay. Basically 3 questions really, and even they were like, "This is a first. I don't know if we can do this," but. Of course they were going to do it. They want those numbers, damn it. You know what I mean? They want the drama. They want the drama.
These experts sound rubbish, mate. Their hit rate sounds... Are you sure they're not weather people, right? Their accuracy is just awful.
Oh, I think it is, mate. Honestly, yeah. They just Tom, Dick and Harry off the street.
Yeah, we're predicting rain today. No, nobody's together anymore.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I'm pretty sure... Yeah, and they try and justify their picks. They'll be like, yeah, but you know what? We picked her because she might be loud, she might be this. She's saying that she wants this in a man. We found a man that's like that, but maybe he can bring out the delicate side in her, and maybe she can lift him up to be a bit more confident. Nah, mate, you chucked them in because they were gonna be terrible. They were gonna be absolute car crash TV, and you love it. You know, you love the drama. But
how can they?
Yeah, no, it's Yeah,
no, how can they need
count?
counselling 2 weeks after meeting the person?
Oh, mate, you wouldn't believe it actually.
That's unbelievable.
So it's like the recent one, right? The season that's on now. So there's a guy and a girl. The guy is obviously not feeling the girl at all. He said so in his 1-to-1 interview with the cameraman. He said, "She's not my usual type. She's not someone I normally go for," and she really likes him. So she's trying to get close to him, and he's just like, no, we need to take things slow. I'm a really slow person. It takes a while for me to warm up to someone. Then on camera he's saying, "Oh mate, if I wanted to shag her, I could have shagged her ages ago, but you know, I really don't like her." But he's keeping her like. It's really sad. She seems like a sweet girl, and she's not the most attractive. She's a nice girl, nice looking girl, but she's not the most attractive, if you know what I mean. And he's clearly just stringing her along. So the counselling, the first week they came up to the honeymoon, she's like, "This dickhead won't even touch me. Like, he won't even be intimate. Won't even give me a hug. Like, does he even like me?" And he's like, now he's getting red because she didn't know she'd turn on him. So that's where the counselling comes into. Like, they'll try giving do like, "Oh, do you like her?" He's like, "Yeah, I like her." "Okay, why don't you try this? Why don't you try communicating? Why don't you try giving her a massage or something like that?" So that's where the counselling aspect comes into it. They actually, their advice is usually pretty sound, but they got to remember that they're the idiots that put these lot in the first place together.
They're overthinking it.
You know
They've been in this relationship 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Forget the counselling. Just give them a bottle of vodka.
Mm-hmm.
Smash that. Your emissions
Boom.
will drop. Your
That's it.
inhibitions will drop through the floor. Sorry. You'd be banging like rabbits in no time. You and
Every
me,
counselling
mate.
session is a vodka. yeah, it's
well,
a vodka.
you know, other brands available. You know,
Give away. Absolutely. What's your tipple? Wine? Okay, here's 7 bottles. Go enjoy
Yeah,
yourself.
exactly right.
Oh.
There's some cider. Get on with that. You and me, mate. We could do that job.
Oh, we could. We'd be great.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Okay, side J, so
Problems this week? Yeah. You nod. Yeah. I'll make some.
Okay.
I'll make some toilet jokes.
that's it." Yeah, I'll go to the back quickly, grab 1 or 2 bottles, give it to him, sort it out. There we go.
All right,
Here's
yeah.
your solution, guys. Enjoy yourselves. Call us in 24 hours. Let me know how it went.
Yeah. So J mate. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, it worked. It worked,
Yeah.
mate. Thank you so
Slurred
much.
speech, puked in the
Can't-
missus' shoes, but had a great night.
Got a bit intimate last night.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
fantastic.
Exactly. Don't you worry about that counselling session.
That's it, mate. No, it's good. Honestly, does your missus watch it by any chance? Like, have you ever seen an episode
All right.
or anything like that?
So I do roughly recall the show you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I thought it was I thought it was just the whole thing was scripted, and it was presented like I didn't get it at first.
a
'Cause
mockumentary.
yeah, sort of. You know when you watch The Office, and
Yes,
you know
yeah.
it's set up because it's obviously Ricky
Yeah.
Gervais, but it's filmed in that way that sort of like mockumentary.
That you don't
exactly
think
what
it's
you
set
say,
up,
right?
yeah,
So
sure.
I walked in on this, and the only thing I heard, like I was sitting there eating my tea, and I was just I could feel my brains dribbling out my ears. But all I heard through this
Yeah.
whole thing is all the blokes talking about the connection. Right, you know there's something wrong with all the blokes when they're saying, "Oh yeah," and can you feel a connection? Do you feel a connection?
Yeah.
I could never said those words in the entire. Like, my missus and I have been together for years, and
Yeah.
I've never talked about an emotional connection with her ever. That's when you know there's something wrong. Okay.
Oh, trust me, mate. It's so funny because watching during the show, there's so many like little petty things that can actually get people really riled up. I think last week, this is going to sound super stupid, right? There's one lady on there, and she got married to a guy. They went on a lovely honeymoon. First night when they're having dinner, they had an argument, and it's because she was being a little bit, let's say she was being a bit, she wasn't being rude, but she was very bougie. Do you know what I mean? She was
Right.
very kind of. She expected, like, she even said, like, during her interview before she got married, I want a man that will spend all his money on me, make sure I don't have to work and all that kind of stuff. Whereas this guy is just an average Joe. Like, he makes a nice salary, as in, like, you know, I think he's a DJ as well. He does 2 jobs. He's got a day job, then on the weekends he goes doing DJs at parties and stuff. And she was just being really childish during dinner. And he just said, yeah, all right, carry on being childish then. And she just got up and left. And they didn't talk to each other for 2 days on the honeymoon. So anyway, when they came back in the last week, right? So they've had their like trials and tribulations. They've gone up and down. They've gone really good. They're really bad again. But while they were good, he was sleeping. She went down to see her mates, and they all started playing spin the bottle with a few of the other couples. So they spin the bottle. Whoever it lands on, you kiss him. She must have kissed about 4 guys that night, and then she came back up, fell asleep, didn't say nothing to her husband. So the husband only found out 2 days later from another couple saying, "Oh, your missus was on a bit of a rampage last night." He's like, "What do you mean?" And they told him the whole story, right?
Yeah.
So when they went to he said, "Okay, it's fine. I'll deal with it in my own time." Went to the commitment ceremony a few days later, and he completely blindsided her. She's all happy. She's saying, "Oh, we're in the best position we've ever been. We've got a real connection. Oh, we've made so much progress this week." And he was like, "Hold up, bitch. Let me speak now." Yeah,
It's all about that connection. You know you're in trouble. If your missus ever comes to you and goes,
absolutely.
"Oh, we've got to Jay, I've got to talk to you about our connection."
Oh, emotional connection.
Shit. Oh shit.
Yeah, so
What have I done?
basically, right?
Is it our anniversary? Sorry, mate.
Exactly. Oh, mate. And then what he done was, right, he said, "Hold up a second." And he made a very valid point, to be fair. I did agree with him. He said, if I was the one that was playing spin the bottle and I kissed 4 girls, would you have the same reaction you're having now, saying, "Oh, it's just a game, it's just a game"? Fuck no. Obviously, she would have blown up. And she kept trying to justify it, but he was right 100% of the way. He kept saying, "No, I'm not having that. If I was to do that, you would blow your load. Like, you know what I mean? You literally like be telling everyone and be crying the victim. But right now, because you've been caught, you're trying to play the victim." And he goes, "I'm out." And she goes, "So the rule is, right, if one person in the couple says stay and one says leave, they both have to stay for another week. If they both say leave, they both go home."
Yeah.
So the rule is, like, you know, he said leave, she said stay. She goes, "No, I want to fight for this relationship. I want to make sure we're all good." And the general rule is, right, if normally if he says leave and she says stay, you still have to stay. But he said no. He was adamant. "I'm going home. I don't care." And so they had to make an exception for him and say, "Okay, he's really unhappy. We need to let him go. Otherwise, you know, he's going to fuck shit up." So yeah, they ended up going home. The whole premise of the show, mate, honestly, it's entertaining. But like I said, because I had to explain it back to you, right, it sounds absolutely fucking ridiculous.
It's fine. Look, it is what you're into. I'm sure there's a load of ridiculous stuff that I watch, and you're like, "Why are you watching that nonsense?" I don't understand. Right. I think I don't understand it because, you know, obviously everybody's present in the real world, and there's a lot of real stuff going on in everybody's lives, or my life, right? So when I watch stuff, I want to escape. I don't care what the escape is. I don't care whether it's sci-fi, fantasy, you know, documentaries, all that stuff. Right? I can watch a documentary. I don't know. There's just something I can't get my head around this, because it's not reality. It's like fake reality. Do you know what I mean?
Reality, 100%, mate.
And I know there are
it's all scripted.
Yeah, and I know there are shows that that bends the truth a little bit, like Top Gear when it was good. Obviously, that was scripted, but everybody knew it was sort of a comedy, sort of scripted, a little improv, those kind of things.
Yeah. It wasn't a show that took itself seriously.
Exactly.
Right?
But yeah, I just can't. I don't know. If eventually when I end up in hell, it will just be me on a treadmill watching endless reality TV shows.
Reality TV, yeah. Stuff like the Kardashians, mate. Honestly, like, so when my missus is waiting for me, right, because we watch quite a few shows together, she'll watch something like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and I'll walk into the room. I might be doing something else, I might be, you know, whatever I'm doing, and I just catch an earful of some of the stuff they talk about, and it's mind-numbing. Honestly, they all speak in the same tone. They all, like, you know, they've got, like, I don't know, fucking, like, the most famous makeup artists doing their makeup, and they're talking about the most mundane bullshit. Like, it is so mind-numbingly boring, to the point where I think two of the sisters were arguing, and they were just arguing about who copied whose wedding.
Yeah.
And that went on for 3 months. A simple phone call would have said, "Oh, did you come to my wedding?" No, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I know.
But no, it went on for 3 months. They weren't turning up to each other's events. They weren't talking to each other. They were putting. Oh, mate, I naturally was like to my missus. I said, "Why the fuck are you watching this? This is like terrible. This is shocking." I said, "How long was the episode?" She goes, "It's an hour long." I said, "Okay, cool." So I left. Right, I went to the shops. Came back about half an hour later. They're still having that conversation. She didn't press pause. She was watching that episode. So from minute 15 of when I left to minute 45 when I came back, they were still talking about it. The most mundane conversation in the world ever, man. Honestly, mind-numbingly boring, mate. Honestly, mind-numbingly boring.
What was I going to... I was thought of one then. There were two that I watched a long time ago. I remember The Osbournes being good. Now, that is an old show.
That was actually quite decent.
You know what I liked about that
yeah.
show is I don't know whether it was scripted or not, but you see the state that Ozzy is in most of the time.
He was always
There's
smashed.
no way you could have given him a script with anything.
They're absolutely not,
We've
mate.
got a set
Absolutely
up. We just
not.
roll him in, and just what happens happens. Yeah,
yeah. Just film it and let him go. Just let him do what he wants, mate. You know what I mean? He's like, Sharon.
fantastic. I think he's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
yeah, he was finished though, wasn't he? Like he was wrecked in every episode.
He's wrecked before he turned up. That's why he's still going.
Yeah.
It's just, those old rock
Jarvis.
and metal stars, I tell you, they got a stamina that just
100%
can't be contended
Didn't
with
Ozzy
in this day
Osbourne
and
used to
age.
like bite the head off a bat or something at a concert? Or some
Yeah,
shit
there
like
was.
that. I don't know, he was proper hardcore.
There was a story. I think it was something like, and I don't know. This is probably worth a Google, but I thought the story was something like he was performing. People were throwing stuff on stage, like I think that like rubber bats and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure a bat landed and he bit it off thinking it was a rubber. I'm sure that was it, but I might have got it completely wrong. It's probably worth a thing.
Yeah,
but,
no, you know what? No, fair play. That guy, oh, that's crazy. But yeah, I think obviously with that kind of show, it is scripted, right? It's scripted. But the only thing is, like you said, you couldn't get Ozzy Osbourne to do any of that shit.
No.
Like he'd just be murmuring away in the corner. Yeah. It's probably his wife, probably his kids. They're probably like more on the script side, but he's just a loose cannon. He's just got to let him go.
What I want to see. I told you that before a couple of episodes. I want to see a show full of loose cannons. I don't want this.
Oh, you're spot on, man. You're spot on. Like, do you know what made me laugh the other day? We were talking about this. I think it was in episode 1 or 2 where we were talking about the Great British Bake Off. So the Great British Bake Off is on right now. Yeah, so we're watching that as well. And I honestly started laughing at the thought when you said, imagine you got a chef here who's cooking like a 5-star dish, and then you've got matey on the other side about to put a fork into the plug and about to electrocute himself. Like, oh,
I think they need
that
to
would
do
be brilliant.
it. I think that, when the oven's there, they
Yeah.
need to strip all the labels off and just put it in Korean.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Just
what's
like
the temperature of this thing?
one.
No idea. No idea.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
put it in
it.
the oven. Let's
Hope
just
for
see
the
what
best.
happens. Yeah, let's just
gonna hope for the best.
see what happens. Yeah, let's see what happens. Oh, you see, those are the shows I want to watch, because that's the thing. Right, you just take 10 randoms. Right, this is your task. This is. There was a show actually. Actually, I can't remember. It was a cake show, but it was Australian, and I love the Australians because they are as sarcastic as we are. Right?
There's no filter with the Australians.
They
honestly,
are phenomenal.
On another scale. Another scale.
Yeah, brothers and sisters in arms, and but there was this cake show, right, and. They had a professional that came in and made the cake, and then these other people just had to sort of replicate it. And the people that were replicating it, they were decent enough, but they were by no means top notch. So these just things that they would wheel out were just the things that I would make. It's just like
just terrible.
Yeah, exactly. 3 donuts with like some ice cream on the top, and it's like that does not look like a swan. And I was just,
this was meant to be a cake.
The best bit
You
about
made a pizza.
but the best bit about this whole show was when they had to stand there and justify it, because they were all super sarcastic. I'm sure they could have all been comedians, because they were all standing there and so like, "What's this?" Well, it's clearly a swan. No, it's not.
Oh,
Unless your swan's just shut out a donut with ice on the top. That ain't a swan, right?
that sounds great. I would love to watch that. Actually. Let me know. Let me know.
I can't remember what
it
it was. It was a cake show, and it was on something like Netflix or Prime. But I remember it being like it was the Australian one, and it was phenomenal.
Great Aussie Bake Off.
Yeah,
or something
I can't remember because there are so there's a lot on there. But this
you know,
one
you
was
did something
brilliant.
right when the parodies are better than the actual originals. You know what I mean? So
Well, this wasn't. Yeah,
No,
I mean, this. I don't think it was intended to be a parody, but just because of the, I don't know whether it was the selection of people or the fact that they cared, but just not enough,
Yeah.
or the fact
Yeah.
that
Wow.
the people making, the producers knew that it wouldn't be great, and they just let them have free
Great
reign.
at all.
Yeah, exactly. Just off you go.
See,
right?
that's what we need more of. We need more of that. Just get a show full of loose cannons
Yeah,
and wild
and
cards.
that's
and
what I want to see.
Let them loose.
You know, I
Absolutely.
don't want to see.
That's- and that-
I don't
do you
want to
know what?
see Big Brother with like 20 people turning up telling their pronouns. I want
I
drunk.
was just about
I
to
want
say,
drunk Bob
we've just
from
gone
down the
full
road.
circle.
I want Doris with
Yeah,
one teeth.
absolutely.
I want them all in there. Right. You lot just get on. Hey?
And that's what Big Brother used to be about. Do you know what I mean? And that, we've just come full circle. That's what Big Brother used to be about. It used to be full of loose cannons and wild cards. Put them in a house and drama. Just let the drama unfold. Film it. Make sure that it doesn't go too crazy. But yeah, just let's see how it goes. And that's what it used to be about. Now it's like, I don't think Big Brother could last in this kind of woke PC kind of world.
I disagree. I think
Oh, do you reckon it could do?
no.
It could do well.
If you look at everything that's succeeding at the moment, right,
Mm-hmm.
it's the majority of anti-woke stuff. You and I were chatting about this earlier. Right?
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah, sure.
you look at the shows that are doing great on TV, right? It's nothing to do with lead actresses or actors. I don't know if that's the term for it these days.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing to do with the race of the character playing. That it's nothing to do with that. If it's a good show, people can get on board,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Nobody cares. As soon as all this fake stuff that's injected over the top of it drops in, it just crumbles.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. Yep, exactly.
If you went back to the Big Brother roots of just picking 20 normal people, yes, you can have some eccentric runs in there, whatever, but, you know, opposing opinions, people that are going to cause a
Yeah.
ruckus, but they are just normal people. I think
That's
it would
right.
bounce back. I really do think it would bounce back. But that's just my opinion. I might watch it then, you know, but never mind.
I think you're right. You know what it is though? I think nowadays it's a bit of a weird one where the way the selection process goes, it's like they have to include everyone. So it's not just like 20 normal people anymore. It's got to be someone that stands for something, which is a little bit weird. And I take your point on back in the day, or even now actually, these shows that come out and they like the anti-woke. The thing is, I think that works because those people are usually quite famous anyway, so they're used to them having different bodies of work. Whereas in Big Brother, it will be interesting to see this season actually because these guys are kind of regular people, do they stand up to the same kind of scrutiny if they were the anti-woke kind of brigade, or if they were woke? Do you know what I mean? It will be interesting to see how polarizing the opinions are of them on social media and stuff.
Do you know what I want to see? I want to see in the Big Brother house, I want to see one of these kids, you know, whatever they're 18 to 25, and I want to see some old granny at the end of her
Old school
career.
guy.
Yeah, some old granny sitting in there that does not give a shit, just says it like it is,
Yeah.
does not care.
No filter.
Yeah, it's
Boom,
grounded,
that's it.
but absolutely grounded. So when they have to hit against this, you know, and they can't be like, oh yeah, well you're a bloke, so you know, misogynist. No, it's not that, right? Oh, well, you got,
that's
you know,
right,
you're
yeah.
fit and healthy. No, it's not that. Oh, you know, if you get those two
The dynamic-
worlds to collide,
The dynamic is
yeah,
right there.
exactly.
The
It
dynamic is
just
right
wouldn't
there.
work.
Come on,
It wouldn't
producers,
work.
do a good job.
It wouldn't work because the
Yeah.
tenacity of the older person would just be relentless. It's just like, look, I've been here
That's
70
it.
years. I've got nothing left to give.
Yeah,
You're having
exactly.
it. Boom.
Yeah,
It's just,
there you go.
you know,
There you go. It'll be a case of I know everything.
So you identify as a pony now, right? Trot off then. You know.
That's it. Yeah, why don't you fuck off to the what was that thing again? The fur
Oh, you're
party,
Furby.
was it?
Yeah, exactly.
Furby, yeah. Oh my word.
Oh,
Oh man,
Head
no,
of the
that's
curve,
good. Yeah,
that was.
I mean, reality TV show. There are some reality TV shows that are really good, right? I'm not going to shit on all of them. There are some that are really good.
hang on, let me just jump in there. I am taking the mic, but I do fully appreciate TV's for everybody. As I say, there's a load of stuff that I
absolutely,
watch
absolutely.
that you'd be like, oh my God, that's awful. Why do you watch that? Just me
Yeah, that's
personally,
right.
I don't get it. I just don't
Yeah.
get it. And that's fine, I don't get it, right?
Do you know what? That's absolutely fine. You know, one thing that made me laugh today, right? I was googling like a list of like reality TV shows, just so I can like form an opinion on some of them. One of them popped up, right, and it's called "Who's Your Daddy?" Right? This must have come on in
I
America.
don't know, mate. I've never met him. Is this a struggle session?
Yeah, exactly. So no, this is a mental one. So it's a show. I think it was in America. I'm pretty sure when I read it, this is in America. So this show goes out and finds kids that were adopted. Right? They'll reach out to them. They'll say, Would you like a chance of appearing on our game show? They're like, okay, what is it? They say, okay, basically, we know you were adopted. We found your real dad, and what we want you to do is come on and just identify him from like a group of people. So they're like, okay, that's fine. But on the flip side, if someone of the one of those groups, if one person in that group of dads, is fake and managed to convince that person that they're their real dad, they win 100k. If the contestant who's looking for their dad finds the right person, they win 100k. How cruel is that?
Messed up.
Honestly.
That is truly messed up. Unless
so
you just don't
bad,
care.
mate.
Unless you just don't
Yeah.
care. Hey?
Absolutely. But the thing is, they don't tell the contestant that if you get this wrong, then the person that's convincing you that's your dad wins 100k. They don't tell them that, so they think it's genuinely like a thing, like they're gonna find their dad, they're gonna get some money. Oh, it's all lovely, but no, it's sinister. And I was like, that is like some evil genius had to come up with that kind of idea. That is so bad, but I can see why it's quite entertaining, to be fair. So yeah.
That's brutal.
Crazy, mate. Crazy.
That is brutal.
Yeah.
In this day and age, I'm surprised that's even allowed.
Yeah, no, exactly that. I don't know actually know when it came out, but it must have been a few years ago. So there was one other show, right, and this was quite a funny one, to be fair. So basically, there was a guy, and they put him on a dating show, and they somehow convinced the contestants, there were about 10 other women, that this guy was a millionaire, and because they thought he was a millionaire, they would be absolutely swooming for him, doing everything that he wanted, anything that he wanted. They would be showing him the best time, trying to woo them. In the end, it was a true test of love, because at the end he kind of reveals that he's not a millionaire, he's just a regular Joe construction worker that looks pretty decent. And then it was about which lady would actually stay for true love and which ones would fall out.
Okay.
And I think that was called Joe. Yeah, it was good. That was a good premise for a show. It was called Joe Millionaire, I believe. You wouldn't believe like how many ladies like had lost interest as soon as he told them that he was a construction worker and not a millionaire. But some of them, I think one actually really like stayed, which was quite nice. But yeah, that's another deceitful kind of reality TV show.
I think that's... I don't know. I've got to be a little bit judgy now. But isn't that telling? Because here's the thing. Imagine you had it the other way. Imagine you had 10 blokes going on there. You had one woman, and the show was like, this is a millionaire woman, and you had all these blokes chasing her. How many of those blokes do you reckon, if she was a really, like, obviously attractive, but also just a really nice person, she turned around and just said, normal salary, nothing special, how many of those blokes do you reckon would turn around and go, nah, forget it? I think it would be less.
I reckon it would be a higher.
Do you reckon it would be higher?
No. Sorry, I thought we were about to say the same thing. I was just about to say it differently. I think the chances of them staying will be higher than the women would on the other show. So I think that for men, if a lady doesn't have, if they've gone through the whole show thinking she's a millionaire, there's going to be some aspects of like, oh, maybe I could live the high life or whatever, all that kind of stuff. But you got to remember, men are sometimes very masculine and feel a little bit emasculated when their partner is making more money. So I don't think it'll be exactly the same. I think it will be, men would probably not consider it a big deal if she came up and said, I'm just a normal lady working normal job, rather than a man saying, I'm not a millionaire, by the way. I'm just a construction worker. I was just going to say, so I know you had a few stories lined up. You were telling me your daughter sent you a picture or something. Do you want to?
Oh no, these aren't really lined up stories. She just sent me she was in Greg. It's another Greg story. We don't live our life in Greg's, by the way. This is just coincidentally 2 weeks in a row. No, she sent me a picture of some packaging, and I'm sure there must be more to this story. I just read it and I couldn't make sense of it. I haven't got my glasses on, so this could be an interesting reading. Anyway, so the message goes, like, I'll show you. I know nobody else can see it, but I'll read it out. So it says, caution, freshly baked products, especially the fillings, may still be very hot. Fine, no problem there. Okay, please take care to avoid injury. No problem. It says excludes decaffeinated coffee. So be careful not to burn yourself.
Right.
On hot food, but it excludes decaffeinated coffee. I don't understand the message. It's got a little star next to it. It must link to something else. But she sent me this, and I was like,
what?
I've got a reasonable grasp of English, and I don't know what that means.
The only thing I can think of is, right, they've given a warning for the product itself, and at the bottom they're saying,
just that what about normal coffee?
Excludes decaffeinated coffee?
Do you know what I mean? Hey?
That doesn't make sense.
She sent it to me, and I was like,
that's a misprint and a half.
It must, because it hasn't got a star, as I say, it must link to something else on that piece of packaging. I just read it, I was like, so what's so different about decaffeinated? What have they done to it? Yeah, exactly. I'd like a warm one, please. Sorry, I'm afraid that's against our policy. Yeah. We don't like boiling decaffeinated grains.
We don't sell that here, mate.
Called. Yeah, exactly. Hey,
cold.
Oh, but anyway, that made me chuckle. Anyway, I've got a funny mess. I was rummaging around the loft the other day. I thought I'd bring this down. Now, a few years back, I was doing some of the light fittings. Okay, we bought some boxes from boxes of lights from, I can't remember, just Homebase or Wix. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. On one side, I'll hold this up for you to read. But anyway, on one side there's no problem. Yeah. Let me get this right. Yeah, tilting brushed chrome downlights. Yeah. You got that? I know it's probably back to front to you. Right, let me flip that around that way.
Yep.
What does that say?
No, it's fine. Yeah.
It doesn't. Read it again.
Yep. It says tilted, brushed, chrome. Oh, titting.
Yeah. That's a misprint.
Oh, no. That's a proper misprint. Titting, brushed, chrome.
Oh, no, it just said brushed chrome.
My God. Was it last? Because it's reversed. What was the last bit say?
But, yeah, so one side of it is absolutely spot on. You flip around the other side. I was bought some titting one. How did that get through marketing or whatever, QC, mate, or whatever it is?
That's a good spot. I would have... It's that former pissed off colleague of yours in the factory. Here's your tits.
Yeah, exactly. It's what reminded me of it the other day.
Oh, that's fantastic. Bloody hell. That's a great...
This is how I know we live in the Matrix, because I swear to God, right, although that's ironic given what I just said, but...
Oh yeah,
this place is trolling me.
100%.
It really 100%,
is. Absolutely, yeah. That's not is that actually printed on the box itself? It's not someone that's overlaid it, right?
No, it's not a sticker. It's actually printed.
Oh wow, that's a big mistake.
So the front, well, obviously nobody can see, the listeners can't see, but the front is fine. The long side is fine. The two short ends,
they're the ones that have the problem.
There you go.
Tittings, lovely. That's brilliant.
That's marketing for you.
Misprints.
I know.
There we go. Someone that didn't pass quality assurance. That's what's happened there.
Well, somebody was thinking when they were putting together the font print out on this box, and somebody was thinking about something else.
Absolutely. Or someone hit the backspace button by accident, dropping something on there. Yeah. Just in that spot. Bloody hell. Jeez, that's really... misprints are hilarious, though. There's been some funny ones, mate. I'm just trying to think back if I can remember one. Do you know what really, really makes me laugh sometimes is how hideous subtitles can be sometimes? So, especially live subtitles, the auto-generated subtitles, they can be so, so wrong. There's... I'm pretty sure there was one where I was watching Wimbledon and it actually said something like... This is gonna be terrible. I should have thought about this before. It was a very innocent comment. The commentator was saying something super innocent, right? But the actual subtitle said something like shitting himself rather than saying shifting themselves. It was, and I had to take a screenshot. I was laughing my head off. I'm so childish, mate. Honestly, that made me laugh so hard. I'm just wondering how these generators work. Even like back in the day, right? I don't know if this sounds really stupid, but before we had like transcript technology, which can actually, you can speech to text basically. I'm thinking there's a super typer there somewhere while the live broadcast is going, and they're literally hammering out 100 words per second, trying to keep up with the live action. And obviously, you're going to get mistakes. I have no idea if that's true. I don't even know if that's how it works back in the day with subtitles, especially for live broadcasts. But nowadays, obviously, it's really easy with like speech to text. So you just speak and it will come up in Google or whatever. I'm just, for some reason, I'm thinking like back in the day, it must be like some super fast typing, just tapping away.
Like Clark Kent, just like...
Yeah.
He's got it. He drops in your
The
F-bomb
flash.
just to make sure everybody's paying attention, and then he's on to the next one.
That's right, yeah. Then he's on to the next one, spot on.
Do you know, here's one, right, that I don't know, and it would be interesting, actually. You know the sign language for deaf people, like when you go to shows and stuff, they occasionally have it at the side, right? You were saying about a person speed typing in the corner, right? When I've seen sign language being done live, or like BBC broadcasts and stuff do it like that, they keep up quite nicely. Yeah, like they're not.
That's right.
Not doing the Macarena on like
They're not delayed.
on speed
sure,
or something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not super speed, right?
So
yeah, exactly,
I've always
exactly
wondered
that, yeah.
if you get somebody speaking, the translator for deaf does the communication. I wonder how well that translates back into like word form. Is it like a babble fish where you put it in there like I went to the shops and it comes out as I shit myself or something, like, you know what I mean? It doesn't line up.
Do you know what? That's a great question. That is a very great question. I don't know. I think it's something we have to ask someone one day. How well does it translate?
Yeah,
back? That's a great one.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what,
I guess it's
sign language,
generalisations, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, because it can't be super 100% accurate, right? Because
It can't be word for word, that's for sure, right? So it must be generalised.
That's right. Yeah, exactly that. So it's going to be shortened. Speaking of sign language, one of the funniest things you could ever do is watch the Inbetweeners with sign language turned on.
I'm gonna do that later. Oh, go on,
Mate, it is hilarious because obviously we all love the Inbetweeners, right? We know it's like it's crazy funny and it's proper rude, right? But because it's so rude, some bits when they're talking about certain things, right, the sign language person has to show what they're talking about. So if Jay comes up, if Jay's talking about big tits, something like that, right, the sign language interpreter has to kind of just
that is fantastic. I tell you what I'm doing this weekend.
It's brilliant. Trust me, mate. It is so funny. It was something that it was brought up to me on Twitter, I think years and years ago. Someone was literally just watching an episode and they just saw this sign. It must be like 2-3 a.m. That's when the sign language kind of shows come on. With the interpretation in the bottom right corner, and obviously someone must have come back from uni, like a rave or something, like late night. They're just munching their kebab away. They turn on the Inbetweeners and then just spot this lady doing the maddest stuff in the bottom right corner, just interpreting exactly what's going on in the show. And they must have recorded it for 1 minute, and it was absolutely hilarious, mate. Honestly,
do you know? I think we've just created our new game show. So you pick some ridiculous, rude program, whatever it is. You get the sign language folk to put the thing together. You don't show the show. People have to guess what the show is or what they're talking about.
There we go.
That would be incredible.
A great show, honestly. Yeah. It's better than Who's Your Daddy? That's for sure. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that would be phenomenal. Yeah.
That would be really good. That's brilliant, mate. I know you say earlier you wanted to tell everyone your mum sent you a message. Do you
I don't know if we got time for this one. Oh, okay. These might be for another day, but okay. All right. So my mum, you have to understand my mum. She's an elderly lady. She likes the conversation, but she doesn't say that much. Yeah. Right. And she's got no build up to any of these stories. Right. Okay. Anything she tells me, there's no right.
Just jump straight in.
Completely out of context. So you'll be sitting down.
Oh,
tea and
my
cake,
mum's the same.
And
my
she'll just come out with the most random stuff, and you're like trying to unpick these stories, right? It just doesn't make sense, right?
You need to set this up, Mum.
Right.
You need to set this story up. Tell me the context.
So the first one she had for me was, I'm a bit annoyed at my brother. That's my uncle. She goes, because he's bought 15 carpets. It's just like, what? He lives in a one-bed house. What the hell could he need 15 carpets for? Right?
Okay.
Right. So
I'm
this is
invested now.
it. Right. So imagine you're in my
brilliant.
mum's house right now. You sat down, cup of tea. By the way, your uncle's bought 15 carpets. What? He's only got 4 rooms. What's he doing?
Oh my word! What the hell? Just a great bargain, I suppose.
So anyways, I goes, well, what's he doing with them all? And she goes, oh no, that wasn't it. And she goes, yeah, because the lady that owns the block of flats says he has to put some carpets down. And I was like, okay, all right. I'm sure 4 would have sufficed, but 15, fine. I don't know. And then she goes, yeah, but he hasn't put any of them on the floor. I'm like, what? Right?
Oh my word!
Right. So here's
What's
the
going
thing.
on?
Right. So he still has no carpets on the floor. Right? None. Right.
What's going on?
And you know when you go to those markets and they've got those, I don't know what they are, about 3 foot by 4 foot giant, they're like dragons and like tigers and I don't know, wolves and stuff. Oh, you must have seen them.
Yeah.
Right. You know those carpet things, rugs, or whatever they are.
Right.
Yeah. She goes, yeah, he just likes
Rugs,
the pictures
yeah.
of them. I was like, all right, but couldn't he have bought a poster? She goes, no, what he's done is he's bought these pictures and hung them on the, brought these rugs and hung them on the wall. And I'm like, so he's got no carpets on the floor. He's got 15 rugs nailed into the wall. No, sorry, I missed a bit there, sorry. My question was, how has he hung these things? She just goes, oh, he just hammered them into the wall. It's like, what are you doing?
The story makes no sense.
It's like, what are we doing right now? So you walk in this late, right? So I reckon he's the ultimate troll. He's obviously got annoyed with this woman downstairs saying, people can hear you walking on the ceiling. You need to put get some rugs. So he's bought some rugs
can you
and
please
nailed them
carpet
to
your
the
house?
wall.
Yeah.
He hasn't got any on the floor.
Yeah.
And I don't get it.
Your uncle is fantastic. That is brilliant logic. I love that. So basically, he's thinking, okay, I'm not having some lady telling me what to do. I'm going to soundproof this my way. Right? I'm going to buy rugs and I'm going to hammer them into the walls.
Yeah, but that doesn't even make sense.
Oh,
So the people downstairs
oh my God.
that have got the problem with they're walking across his floor, their ceiling, could still hear him, and all the neighbours that had no problem, he's just triple insulated the place. Of course.
That's it. He's looking
So
after the neighbours that never
It
played.
really is.
That's what it is.
Insane, absolutely insane.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's fantastic. Oh my word.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, my mum does that though. It must be a mum thing, mate. Honestly, I remember one time, me, my dad, and my sister were basically having tea. Right, my mum just came back from work, and then later on in the evening, right, she comes in in panic, like, "Oh my God, they've killed her! They've killed her! Can you believe it?" I was like, "Who? What? Are you all right?" Everyone got up, like, "What's going on here? Are you okay?" She goes, "Yeah, it just happened out of nowhere." Well, like, Mum, what are you talking about? Who's dead? She was talking about a bloody TV show. She was talking about a soap. But the way she walked in, it was like she'd just seen a cold-blooded murder. I was like, Mum, why the hell did you come in shouting, "Oh my God, they killed her, they've killed her," like, bloody hell. And I was like, don't ever do that again, or give us some context. Like, guys, I was watching my TV show and I can't believe they killed her. That wouldn't flipping give us a heart attack. Do you know what I mean? Jesus, it must be a mum thing, honestly.
It's just they are dropped in the middle of like, it doesn't even make sense. Like there wasn't like, I'm sure your mum's the same, but there wasn't even a segue. Like we weren't even talking about my uncle. We weren't even talking about rugs, right, or carpets or anything.
Straight in.
It's just like how's your neighbour? Yeah, he's all right.
That's it.
What'd you do this week? I went shopping. Oh, by the way, 15 rugs. What? Where are we going with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. There's nothing.
There's literally no context. There's no context. My mum does that, but you know what she does, and it makes it even worse, is that if I'm having a conversation with my dad, for example, she'll pop in. Do you know how like a superhero does? Normally kicks the door down and just gets to business. My mum's like that, so she doesn't care who's talking. She doesn't care who's talking, right? She will knock the door down and she would get watch it. Whatever she wants to say, she's going to say. She's not going to wait for me and my dad to stop talking. She's going to slide straight in there and say what she has to say. And she does it all the time. And we're like, Mum, we were talking. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. Just, you can finish in a second, but blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh my God, it must be a mum thing. And there's no context to it either. Like, no backstory, no nothing. Just literally, she smacks us straight into the middle of the story. And then it's up to us to fill the blanks. It doesn't make sense, Mum.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, parents,
God.
you got to love them.
Bless her. No, absolutely. It's just, the funniest thing is when me and my dad, it's just me and my dad give each other a look. We're like, oh, what the hell is she talking about now? Like, he's married to her and he still can't figure it out. So, oh, it's so funny, man. Me and my dad just look at each other all confused. Like, oh, Jesus, like, let's try and decipher the story.
Yeah,
okay, Mum, what happened? Start from the beginning.
And there have been occasions with my mum, right? I'll get half the story, and I'll think I've asked as many questions as I need to piece this thing together, right? And then I'll speak to my sister, and she'll go, "Oh, did you hear about this thing?" And I'll be like, what? And that story took a turn. I just thought we were talking about the neighbour. I didn't realise he was a drug dealer.
Exactly.
Where did that come from? Yeah, exactly.
She just admitted that little bit of information that changed the whole course of the story.
So it went from, one of the guys had the police around the other day to, he was a drug dealer and he's going to spend 5 years in prison. Well, hang on, what? How did we get there?
Yeah, exactly that. Like, I would have liked that information beforehand so I can judge the story properly.
Brilliant.
That's too
I
funny,
do
mate.
have another one,
My
but we'll
God.
save that for next time.
All right, well, Si, yeah, we'll say what. I'll tell you what. Yeah, let's save it for next week. I think we've chewed the ear off our listeners there this week. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much for listening to episode 3 of the JTS 51 podcast with myself and Si. We'll be back next week with some more great stories. So yeah, thank you for listening.
Take care, all. We'll catch you next time.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the JTS 51 podcast. For more epic content, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future episodes.